Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review along with some lip swatches of the Jeffree Star 2016 holiday collection. Yes, I know it's January, but it takes time to wear all these lipsticks that I buy on a regular basis. So obviously I finally got round to wearing all of them. The one I'm actually wearing on my lips right now is called Deceased, and I will be showing you a lip swatch of it regardless. I've had it on for a couple of hours now, so I think that I am able to now give a fair and honest review. So he released a load of his products, I think, was it on Black Friday? I can't even remember now. So I got them about a week or so ago when I did my MyMallBox order. I will link below how I ship US items to me in the UK. And I will just quickly show you what they look like. So last year's holiday collection packaging was white with gold, and this year he has done red with gold, and his normal standard way of packaging things is pink and gold because he loves pink. And there were quite a few shades in the collection. I didn't find all of them to be typically wearable. For example, there was like a mistletoe green sort of shade, and to be honest, obviously Jeffree Star is known for having very different type of shades, so it's not like I'm gonna say, oh, he came out with things which are unwearable for a lot of people. Well, that is what his brand is supposed to be. They're very unique and kind of bespoke sort of shades that not everybody would necessarily wear, but that also doesn't mean that there is not an audience for it. Anyway, let's get into it, because I have done previous reviews on all his liquid lipsticks, starting from the beginning right through till the last holiday collection and other ones in between. I will link all those videos below so that you can see things in a little bit more detail. So again, the cap that comes with these lipsticks is also in red and gold. Comes in his standard kind of quite weighty type of packaging. And again, the doe foot applicator is standard of Jeffree Star. It's like got a groove in it so that you are easily able to apply it to your lips, and it is quite fluffy as well. The consistency I found is to be exactly the same as previous liquid lipsticks. There may be a few changes here or there, but not enough for me myself to personally notice. They are liquidy, but they're not too liquidy. I find Colourpop's ones to be the most liquidy and the most thin, meaning that they become the most uncomfortable as well because you can't really layer them. These ones are one layer and you get full opaque coverage, and you can apply 2 layers, but bear in mind that it may start to get uncomfortable after a little while. The standard wear time for these is about 7 hours before they start to fade and crack around the edges, typical of liquid lipsticks. All the shades that I've got do not settle within the lines. They're all very flattering across the board, from fair to medium to dark skin tones, and overall I'm quite happy with all the ones that I've got. So I'm going to wipe off this liquid lipstick and then I'm going to show you swatches of all the ones that I did get. So as with all liquid lipsticks, I always say it wrong, liquid lipsticks, the best way to remove them is with an oil-based makeup remover or something greasy. I just use Vaseline to remove it all with a tissue. Just got a little bit of foundation around my lips. And I also forgot to say, in terms of the consistency, when it dries down to a lovely matte finish. There is a slight little bit of tackiness to it, but again, that depends on how thickly you apply the layers. If you apply a very thick one layer, you will get that slight stickiness that you get because they are not completely matte. They look matte, but in terms of drying, they aren't so much. But it depends on how much it bothers you. I don't lick my lips. Purposely train myself not to lick my lips. I used to do it all the time, and that way it doesn't really bother me so much. So that's just something to bear in mind. If you put 2 layers on, it will get more and more sticky. So that's just the same with any kind of makeup product, I would say. So this first one is called Pumpkin Pie, and there are small particles of shimmer in it. And with all of his liquid lipsticks, you have to shake them for a couple of minutes just to move the product around slightly. I do like this shade. This shade is a lovely kind of burnt orange shade, so it's quite wearable. It's not a bright orange, and the smell of these reminds me of baby wipes, the Johnson & Johnson ones. So this is a Pumpkin Pie. What do you guys think? Really like this color, really like this shade. This was one layer. I did not go over the lipstick at any point again, except just to tidy up little areas in the corners where I didn't quite get the lipstick on my lips, so just to neaten it, tidy it up and make it look clean and sharp. And when I look up close, I can see some of the glitter particles, but they're so finely milled that you can barely see them. But I do quite like it. I think it's one of those ones where if you're out at night in the dark outside and the light will hit you, you'll see little particles of shimmer, but you can't feel them because they're not glittery. They're very, very, very finely milled. So this is Pumpkin Pie. And as with all Jeffree Star's lipsticks, they are slightly transferable. They're not hugely transferable. For example, like I find a lot of Anastasia Beverly Hills ones to be, because the consistency is a lot thicker. The thinner the consistency, the less likely it is to transfer onto somebody else's face or your mug or your fork or wherever it is. The shade Deceased, which is like a cool toned greyish mauve shade. So this is Deceased. I actually quite like this colour, even though it's quite a unique shade in that, you know, it's a greyish, it's something with a lot of a grey to it. I think it's still very flattering on light to medium to dark skin tones. Obviously, depending on the natural colour of your lips will be how it appears on your lips. And I'm going to do a very quick swatch comparison of this against Scorpio, as well as what was the other shade, Androgyny, just so that you guys can see how they compare. So this one is Deceased, this one is Scorpio, and this one is Androgyny. So you can see very clearly they are all very, very different. Androgyny is still by far one of my favourite shades, that one and Dull Parts. This one is definitely a lot more deeper with a lot more purple to it, and this one is definitely lighter with a bit more grey undertones to it. So now you can see how they are all different. And this shade is called Sagittarius. It's a very much a lilac-y pink, but obviously much more lilac to it and a bit of purple in there as well. So this one is Sagittarius. As you can see, it's like a much more wearable version of Deceased. And there, I've just swatched it next to Deceased for you, so you can see. And this shade is Designer Blood. This one is a very strong, deep, dark blood red. So this is Designer Blood. As you can see, is absolutely stunning shade. This will look amazing on all skin tones, and especially on medium skin tones. This is really your kind of typical South Asian red lips. That's what I see when I wear this lipstick. And I think it's stunning. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous, true, deep blood red shade. But I know people will be concerned about how it is in comparison to Unicorn Blood by Jeffree Star. So I'm going to quickly show you swatches on my hands of both. So this one is Designer Blood and this is Unicorn Blood. As you can see, Unicorn Blood has got a bit more brown tone to it. So it's more of a brown blood red, if that makes sense. And this one is definitely more of a true blood red shade. If you ask me, my favourite out of the two is definitely Designer Blood. So the other lipstick that I wanted to show you guys that wasn't part of the holiday collection, but it was released around the same time it came out on Cyber Monday, was Jeffree Star's first ever metallic liquid lipstick. Now, I'm not going to lip swatch it because I don't want to. So this is what it looks like. It's a bright Barbie pink, a gorgeous, gorgeous colour. I personally love shades like this. It is a true shimmering Barbie pink. Now, I talked about this in my Black Friday haul video when I got this. The quality of this is not good at all. I was actually quite surprised, especially because Jeffree Star purposely held back the launch of his metallic liquid lipstick because he wanted to reformulate the formula. He said he wasn't happy with the metallic liquid lipsticks, but unfortunately even though apparently they have been reformulated, I still don't think that they're very good at all. I'm not going to lip swatch it for you because you won't really be able to see in person how it comes out truly, so I'm going to have to just describe it verbally, because unless I show up my face right up against here, and I'm not going to do that because I'm in between hair lasering treatments and I don't need you lot seeing my tash. And you won't be able to see the fact that this is just not fully opaque. In order to get it fully opaque, I have to apply about 3 layers. Now, 1 layer of this, you can still see the liquid lipstick. It applies quite thickly and quite chunkily. It's quite a thick consistency, and I'm sure you can probably tell on the brush. Can you see the way that it is on here? It's quite thick and almost in bits and pieces. It doesn't apply as a liquid to the lips, it applies in like a thick mousse. That's how it is. You spread it around and it's just not clean application. I can still see my natural lip colour underneath, so I then go in with a second layer. And obviously with a lot of liquid lipsticks, the more layers you put on, the more uncomfortable it gets, the more constricted your lips become, the more the layer upon layer upon layer that you put on, it's like spackle. It'll start to peel off and crack off and just look generally horrible. I've worn this once. I've tried wearing it again. I shook it about 1,000,000 times. I thought that maybe it was just I hadn't shaken it enough, but no. And the thing is, I've seen people's lip swatches and stuff online, and it looks completely different on them. It looks liquidy, and on me it just doesn't. So I'm not sure whether it's just the batch that I got. I'm just assuming. Let me know if you guys have tried this one and what your thoughts are, because obviously he's come out with newer shades and I'm unwilling to try them because I don't think that this one is that good at all. Here is a swatch on my hand, and I'm sure you can see the consistency of it. It's like a thick mousse. It wasn't a clean application just there, even there. I had to run it backwards and forwards to get it to show up quite thick. The colour is lovely, the quality is not. I personally don't recommend this. But like I said, it could just be me. It could just be that I got a bad batch. Who knows? It is known to happen, especially when it comes to smaller brands, which are still kind of trying to branch out. Their formula can sometimes vary, even if it's the same exact product. I found that with Colourpop's Ultra Metallic, Colourpop's, yeah, they're Ultra Metallic lips. When they first came out, they were absolutely horrible. Their most recent one, Surprise, from the Hello Kitty collection, is excellent. And I'm just like, but aren't you the same company? Shouldn't the actual quality of all the same lipstick be the same? So it might just be me. Okay, so Jeffree Star has also come out with 2 new Skin Frosts, which also came out at the holidays and also on Cyber Monday or Black Friday, one of those days. And he came out with 2 shades. One is called Regina George and one is called Princess Cut. This is Regina George Skin Frost. That's just the name of his highlighters. It's a bright hot pink. And for those of you who are wondering who Regina George is, she is the leader of the Mean Girls in the film Mean Girls. And they all love pink, and that's the reason why. I love that film. It's a classic. Now, generally, Jeffree Star's Skin Frost, his highlighters are quite thick. They're very intensely pigmented. I wouldn't call them a glittery, but I would say that they emphasize your pores slightly. Now, with the other ones I've got, I've done reviews on all of them, again, which I will link below for you guys to look in more detail. This one, you can use it on the face if you choose to, but it is a bright pink, and it's just going to look like your blusher has kind of got lost and made its way up here and on your nose. So personally, I would use this on the eyelids and nowhere else. I think it will look really amazing, full on pink on your eyes, shimmering. And this is what it looks like. Can you imagine how amazing it would have looked if I could have worn it with this? I could have been full on Asian Barbie. Now, for some reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the pigment of this. I find it quite difficult to pick up. I find it so thick that it's almost packed into here and I can barely get it onto my finger. And the other highlighters are not like that. So I'm not sure what that is. I'm not saying that the product is bad, because I still think that the pigment that you get, the quality of it is very, very good. I just find it very difficult to pick up onto a brush. In that it's so thick that it just refuses to move onto a brush. And this is the other shade, which is called Princess Cut. And this is, of course, a very pale, almost lilac-y pink. Now, the quality of this is completely different to all the other ones. This one is a lot more finely milled. I'm going to hold it up against Regina George and zoom in as far as possible so that you can even see up close how different it is. Can you see how large the pieces are on here of them packed together and how different they are on this one? They even look different in terms of the texture, which I do find slightly odd. Now, I have used this one on my face. I have to say that the colour is absolutely lovely. It's a really cool tone, frosty sort of shade, and I'm actually very happy with the way that it looks on the face. However, it doesn't pick up onto the brush at all. First I thought there was some sort of overlay over it, so I rang my finger over it. Let me show you right now how it applies to the finger. Right here, yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that should be a lot more full on than it actually is. And now look how faint it is compared to Princess Cut. Look at the difference in pigmentation. Same amount of product I've wiped off of both. This one I feel actually lets me down quite a bit. I don't know why these two Skin Frosts are so different to the other ones. And I have tried a fan brush. A fan brush maybe picks up a little bit more because the bristles are more spread out. I don't know. I've also used the Morphe M501 pointed blender brush that I use on a lot of my makeup tutorials. Hardly anything picks up onto the brush. And then I'm just like ending up using my fingers. What's the point of that? So I like the colour, but I don't really like the quality so much. Soz. So that's it for my review of the holiday collection from Jeffree Star, as well as his metallic liquid lipstick and some of his latest Skin Frosts. He is, of course, in March launching his next eyeshadow palette, which is called Angrogyny, so I'm looking forward to seeing that because I did quite like his Beauty Killer eyeshadow palette, so I'll be interested to see the shades that he comes up with. Other than that, I hope you guys are great. If you've got any comments or questions regarding the lipsticks or anything like that, please let me know below. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day and I'll see you all soon. Bye.